It all began when I was 18, and I was a pretty goody two-shoes kid. I didn't experiment with drugs or alcohol, or I wasn't too wild. I was a straight A, pretty good student, and I had a terrible migraine, and I wound up in the ER, and that was my first experience with any opiates, and it was Dilaudid, and it was the first time I understood the meaning of euphoria. I had neglected my children, I neglected myself, I hit rock bottom, and I cried out for mercy and found myself at a methadone clinic. I thought, man, I'm doing good. My life is stable, you know. I'm not spending $2,000 a month on opiates anymore, and I'm not craving them anymore, and I have my emotions back, I have my personality back, I have everything that opiate addiction robbed from me, and I want to have a baby. And once I had told the nurse that I wanted to be taken off of methadone, she gave me a pregnancy test and said, "You're already pregnant. Surprise!" And I thought, yay, hallelujah. And then she said, "We cannot take you off methadone because your baby will go through in utero withdrawals and suffer and most likely die. So we can't even lower your dose of methadone. You're stuck on it through your whole pregnancy." I was never once told, if you take methadone and get pregnant, your child is going to go through extreme withdrawals. I was never told, if you take methadone and you choose to get pregnant, you'll not be able to go off of methadone. I was never told any of the consequences of having a methadone baby until I was pregnant. I thought, oh, well, I can decrease the methadone slowly. He won't feel the withdrawals. And it was quite the opposite. I started going through withdrawals, which meant he was going through withdrawals, so we had to increase the methadone. I actually increased it almost 3 times the dose that I was originally on when I was pregnant. And I was so angry at the time because there's been different medications that I've been on in my life where the pharmacist or the doctor has said to me, "What is your form of birth control? Do not get pregnant when you are on this." I felt duped. I felt like, why was this never told to me? I went home and researched a lot on the internet and broke down in hysteria because what it looked to me was almost like a crack baby, and I never pictured myself having a baby addicted to anything. And then what killed me was trying to find a provider that would take care of me when I was pregnant. And it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I was discriminated against. I was shunned. Till finally, when I started to call and make that initial call that, "Hello, I'm pregnant, I need an OB doctor. I'm on methadone," was the next thing that came out of my voice, because I didn't want to make the appointment anymore and have them say, "Oh, we don't cater to methadone babies." He got to stay in the room with me for the first night, and once they get to a certain score, if they unfortunately do, then the NICU comes and takes them and gives them small doses of morphine and different drugs to relieve them from their opioid dependency. Once the medicine is to a point where they're at 0s or 1s, so they're fine, they're happy, they're normal babies, they're eating well, they're not shaking, their skin isn't modeling, you know, they're not screaming, they're smiling, they're being your average baby. And so then they say, okay, this is where the baby is leveled out in his need for the meds, you know, this is what he's used to. And then they begin to drop them. And it wasn't just like a straight decline, like every day let's take a little bit away. Thank goodness the NICU is there, And the doctors were there and so helpful to be able to make him comfortable and to save his life and to make him be happy and okay today. And they said, oh, you're so lucky. You can decorate this room however you want. We have mothers that bring all their nursery stuff in here, and you know, you set up their own changing table on the counter, and you can decorate it. And I just once again felt the stab in my heart, like, that's all set up at home. We're supposed to be at home. You feel really loved at times and embraced by the staff, and then there's other times you feel like an absolute burden. The more things that they let me do right out of the get-go, like say bathing my baby and saying, here's where this is at, you come and do it, you learn how to do this as a mother, this is your job, this isn't our job, you're the mom, you do this. The more things that they did like that, the more comfortable I felt in the NICU. I have this beautiful picture that's framed in his nursery of his footprints. That one of the nurses, it wasn't on the crib card, she just nicely put it on a blue piece of paper, and it's one of the most beautiful things that I have. She would tell me how she knew that Max was going to be okay with me and how happy she was that I was Max's mom, because I had the patience. And when you've been in there for that long and you feel like you're really being watched because you are on methadone, you know, you feel like people are staring at you and counting every little thing you do, and you get those praises, it really does make all the difference in the world. Dr. Canetta was always eager to answer any questions and helpful. I loved that I could ask him the silliest questions, you know, what would seem silly, and he was always available. Always available. His bedside manner was so well and so appreciative. And then there was this wonderful harpist that came in, and Max just loved that. He loved the music. It was peaceful to him, it was quiet, and that was something that the NICU could give my son that I couldn't if I was at home. So that was a really, really blessing. And still to this day, I think he's going to be in music when he's older. He kind of backslid a little bit on his meds for a while. On his score, he went back, and we were getting kind of frustrated. Like, we thought we were on our way home, and now we're going the opposite way. And the pediatrician and the staff worked really well with me. We decided to try going down a smaller amount every 12 hours than the bigger amount every 24 hours. And that worked really well. And that was kind of one of my ideas, and they listened and they tried it, and it worked for us. So when we were getting ready to go home, it was really odd, but it was wonderful. You know, you want to go home, but then at the same time you're, am I ready? No, it was a wonderful experience. They really made sure that we had everything we needed. I got the CPR training that I needed, and since my husband was at work and wasn't able to take that class, they sent us home with a doll and a DVD that he could practice on. They made sure we had all the aftercare set up. They really took care of everything. I can't imagine what would happen if there wasn't a NICU. I guess I've never asked that question, but what a scary thought that would be. This is Max today. He's gonna be a year old in 2 weeks. He's not addicted to methadone or anything anymore. He's your happy, playful, normal baby. Obviously, he likes to be on film. Every mother wonders at times, oh, my baby isn't quite walking yet. Is he behind? Or, you know, we all think they're the smartest too, but every single thing that I wonder about Max, I always question, is this because I was on methadone? I also wonder if he will have, I guess, more likelihood of being an addict when he grows up. I wonder if he'll have any learning disabilities or any medical problems. All kinds of different questions that I don't have answers to, and we won't know.